They say religion answers all the big questions, like who we are, where we came from, why are we here, and where are we going. But the funny thing is, every time science digs a little deeper, these answers, they don't make any sense at all. There's a sacred rhythm to the universe, a logic woven into mystery. The mystics, they felt it, and today science measures it. Both in their own way are reaching for the same truth. True, there was a time when religion was our compass, our first attempt to make sense of the nature around us, the thunder and lightning, birth and death, to name the mystery of existence. It gave us stories to live by, and for a while that was enough. Not anymore, the time has passed. Religion, once a bridge between the known and the unknown, it has now become a wall. It fossilized. Beautiful once, yes, I do agree, but now it's brittle, unmoving, and it's afraid of the new. It no longer points us towards truth. It keeps us trapped in repetition, control, and fear. It is quite simply dead as a dodo. It's extinct, though its shadow still walks among us, dividing us, instilling fear in our hearts, misleading us with promises of heaven and hell, asking us to believe in a version of God who could be vengeful, he could be merciful, but he could rain fire and brimstone on the non-believers, bring death and destruction on anyone who goes against his chosen ones. I could go on and on. The question is, seriously, how can you reconcile all this into a belief system, into your belief system? How can you live a lie? How could you bring up your children by letting this virus take over their hearts and minds? And if you're listening to Weird Ways, you probably sense it too. That evolve, you must move beyond belief, make a break with the past, give up the illusions of certainty. We must dump religion and start anew. There is no other way. Believe me, there is no other way, because religion has brought us to the brink. There are among us believers who are waiting with bated breath for the apocalypse, for the end of days, so that they could be saved and move to heaven like it was some summer camp. There are believers who are on a killing spree to wipe out the infidels. We allow this to happen by clinging to the stupid notions that religion propagates. It has infected our brains and hearts. Make a start right now. Rethink, evaluate all that you have been told, and see in the light of reason what is the way forward. So, what does religion replace? Or what replaces religion? What becomes a compass now? The answer has always been here, hidden in plain sight. It is the way of science in its purest form. It's a way of seeing. It's a way of seeing things as they are. It's a discipline of truth, humility, and awe. It asks for no worship, only sincerity. It doesn't demand belief. It asks that we look, test, listen, and learn. Science is a sacred dialogue with reality, the willingness to be corrected by the universe. There is no gospel truth. The more you learn, the more you evolve. Every time we drop an old certainty and discover something new, we enact a quiet ritual of enlightenment. That is why science is not merely knowledge. It is a way. We need to look at this as a way. People sometimes smile when I say I'm an evangelist for science. They think evangelists belong to religion. But I mean it differently. My zeal is not for belief. It is for awakening. I've seen what curiosity can do. I've seen wonder return when dogma once ruled. I don't seek followers. I seek companions, fellow travelers like you, who dare to ask why and keep walking even when the answers shatter your comfort. If religion teaches obedience, science teaches participation. It invites us into the great cosmic conversation to recreate within the universe itself. So, how do we live this way? Not just thinking scientifically, but be scientific in spirit. First, question everything, even your own assumptions. Curiosity is the antidote to superstition. Second, observe before judging. That's the mind trained to see before it reacts. Observation itself is meditation. Third, seek evidence, not authority. Truth is not decided by who said it, but by whether it stands up to the light of reason. Fourth, read nature, not scripture. The forest, the atom, the trees, the heartbeat. These are sacred texts written in the language of reality. Learn to read them. And finally, embrace uncertainty. To live scientifically is to live without final answers. To walk humbly on the edge of the unknown. Every day is a day of discovery, to find new things, new ways of doing things, to understand yourself better, to understand the cosmos. That's what science can do to you. Long before the word scientist was spoken, there were mystics who walked the way. Mystics who weren't religious. Souls who transcended religion and touched the divine more deeply than any creed. Spinoza saw God as nature itself, infinite, lawful, alive. Einstein spoke of a cosmic religious feeling, a reverence for the mystery that gives birth to true science. Carl Sagan gazed at the stars with awe, not fear. David Bohm sensed the hidden wholeness behind matter and mind. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin saw evolution as the universe awakening to itself. And the great spiritual traditions, the mystics too found the same current. In India, the rishis of the Upanishads spoke of Brahma, not a god, but pure consciousness, that vast intelligence behind all form. To know the self, they said, was to know the cosmos. In Sufism, Rumi and Ibn Arabi sang of unity, not theology, but direct perception. They found truth not in the mosque, but in the beating of the heart and the turning of the stars. And in the Christian stream, Meister Eckhart, John of the Cross, Thomas Merton, they pierce beyond doctrine to touch the living light within matter itself. What Eckhart called the spark of the soul, the same light that science now finds burning in every atom of existence. They were not enemies of faith. They were explorers of truth. They lived the way of science before science had a name. So perhaps the sacred has not died. It has changed its address. It no longer hides in temples, mosques, or churches, or scriptures, or in the words of the so-called godmen who peddle religion. It vibrates in the dance of atoms, in the hum of galaxies, in the fire of consciousness itself. We don't need salvation from sin, no sir. We don't need to be saved. And even if we need to be saved, it is from God itself, or the versions of God we hold on to. What we need is liberation from ignorance. What we need is to break the shackles of superstitions and blind belief that does not allow us to see the truth that lies within us. We don't need to be told what is holy. We need to see what is. The cosmos is not a kingdom ruled by a God sitting on a throne. And if there is a kingdom, it is a kingdom that lies within you. Yeshua spoke of it. It is an unfolding intelligence, an infinite conversation, and science is our way of listening. So what the weird way of science? Not as a believer, but as a seeker. Because in the end, the only true revelation is the one written across the stars. In the next episode, I will lay out practical steps to discover this world of wonder, to embrace the divine without the intrusion of religion or any belief system that impedes your progress to get to the mystery of existence and your place in it. Do write in with your comments and thoughts. Do share in the conversation. Your opinion matter. We are, you and I, on a journey of self-discovery. We need to find the path together. Let us walk it together. Thank you.